Hello everyone, it's Lev Cohen and today we're gonna make a patch rundown from patch 11.2. So let's start directly into it. First of all, we have our new champion coming out, it's Viego. Viego the Ruined King. We will make also a rundown of his abilities later this day or tomorrow, so check it. It's actually really nice. I'm really hyped for Viego. Looks amazing. I think he will be a nice jungler and also a nice mid laner or top laner, depends, but I think it's already overtuned and it's gonna be really nice how it's gonna develop. So Akali. Akali got a nerf to her Q. So Akali was doing great, really great lately, especially with the new items like Night Harvester, Rift Maker. I didn't saw so much Rocket Belt, but Rocket Belt is also really good for the cheese and the attack speed and movement speed, so I like it really much. So from 120 and from 110 to 115. Actually, they didn't change it a lot. It shouldn't make a difference in the late and mid game, but I think it's gonna influence Akali a lot in the early game, so she cannot poke so much anymore. You have to play a sever laning phase. Q cooldown decreased. So we saw a lot of Azir in pro play, especially Faker ramping it out all the time lately. But what I see here is that it's a welcome buff for Azir. He lost a lot with Nashor's Tooth and the cooldown being removed from the game and the added haste, so Azir got quite a hard hit. And in my opinion, this is a really good buff. So I'm hyped to see a bit more Azir also in pro play, always fun to look. Caitlyn, AD growth increased. So they gave Caitlyn 0.5 AD growth per level. So it will not change the point that Caitlyn's itemization is really bad right now, because we will see later the nerfs to Gale Force, so I think this will not help Caitlyn to come back in the meta or to be especially good. Oh, nice, Darius nerfs. So the passive Noxian Might bonus AD decreased. In my opinion, it's nice to see a Darius nerf. He is obnoxious to play against in top lane, especially in a melee matchup. And he can slice through every tank early game. He has sustain, he has a lot of damage burst. But I think that the Noxian Might bonus attack damage getting lowered from 30 to 230 to 20 to 205 is actually nothing, and it will change nothing. So I think this is a useless nerf. Yeah. Dr. Mundo. So Dr. Mundo got here as a lot of buffs. So it's actually nice to see the old school top lane tank working better again. So we have a health refund on hit, it's 50% for Q, and the health refund on kill is 100%. So actually it's really nice to see that if you get a kill with the Q, or if you last hit properly, that actually you get it all back. So it's really nice to farm on the turret. If you get pushed in, you're not losing nothing. It's actually really nice. E bonus damage from 3 to 5, from 4 to 6% of his maximum health. So actually this is really good, because it's a huge buff, because later in the game we will have tons of health, and this 1% will actually make a big difference. So it's really nice. And air is, in my opinion, just fucking OP. They put it from 50, 75 and 100 to 60, 85 and 110% of maximum health. It's actually just amazing. So Mundo can heal more than he actually has on level 16. But early game it's gonna make a big difference. If you get ganked, you have to leave, or if you want to sustain and stay longer in the fight. Elise, Spider Q damage decreased later. In my opinion, the Q is the main damage for Elise. And this nerf, it will not change nothing. So early game, you're still strong, still going strong, level 1 to 6, where you have 2 points, 3 points in Q. It's actually really amazing, and this will not change a lot. Ivern nerfs. I know a lot of people started to play Ivern, and especially with the Moon River Stone, it's really, really strong. But I don't understand why the buff, actually why the nerf a support jungler. So A triggers it. His shield ratio from 90% AP to 80% AP. Somebody would say, that's not a lot, but he doesn't push so much AP in his build, so that every percentage of this that he can use is really important. I think it's useless to nerf Ivern, but I find it nice that he's played. Does that need to nerf him? No. Oh yeah, LeBlanc. So what they're doing is they're gonna give her some base health growth, and the Q cost is decreased later. It will not change a lot. I think from 50 to 90 to 50, 70. Late game is not gonna make a big difference. If you decide that you go Night Harvester, Rift Maker, it's maybe good because late game you're not so much depending on mana. But this just gives her a better early game, and it's easier for her to survive the lane in hard matchups. Oh, Maokai nerfs. Thank god. So, pretty obnoxious. Terrible to play against. E cost increased later, damage ratio decreased. So the saplings cost now from 60 to 80 mana, 60 to 100 mana. It was actually really good, because late game he will spend a lot of mana just drawing 2-3 out of them. He will probably get out of mana really quick if he doesn't calculate properly. So in my opinion it's great, from 1% per 100 AP to 0.8 per 100 AP. Oh, not a big difference, but at least he will lose more mana if he max E, what support is actually doing. Oh, Nocturne buffs. I welcome them, and I hope more Nocturne will get played. So Q and Air cooldown decreased. Q is nice, better jungle clear, faster fellow, better early game ganks. And the cooldown on Paranoia being down for just 10 seconds, from 150 to 100 to 140, 90 is actually really amazing. Because this means 2 ganks early game instead of 1.5 example. And then in the mid game, late game, he has more opportunities to go in to make something for a team. Really welcome. Nunu, base movement speed and health decreased. This is welcome. This is really welcome. It cannot be possible that if you're an AD carry or an immobile mid laner, that when he comes and he catches you one time off guard, that you cannot run away anymore. So welcome, pretty nice changes. The movement speed is from 345 to 340, and the health is from 570 to 540. Aatrox. These are actually pretty strange changes, because E's self-healing is now increased during air, but air self-healing is decreased. So E Umbrella Dash. Umbrella Dash self-healing now increases to 26, 32, 38, 44, 50% during air or World Ender. But what happens with the self-healing? From World Ender it's from 50 to 100 to 30 and 60. Yes, you lose some out here, but in the end I think this is unnecessary changes. It will not do nothing, and fuck Aatrox. Yep, fuck you. Olaf. So Olaf got hit a bit, not a lot. So his lifesteal on W is increased from 40 to 22% to 16, 24%, that's actually really nice. But it's not triggered on 50% base missing health, but on 33% base missing health. That means that you will later have access to it. So it makes him a bit weaker when he's dueling early game, but late game it shouldn't affect him at all. Senna. Base attack speed ratio increased. Passive non-kill mist wave drop chance and gold from mist wave increased. Q healing and damage ratio increased. So what they're actually doing is they're trying to buff support Senna. More mists coming out of the passive, a bit more attack speed, and of course the Q is stacking more AP and AD. Actually, the AP ratios here are actually pretty amazing because it's 15% plus on the AP ratio. That means if Senna goes Moonstone Renewer, Imperial Mandate, it's gonna actually do some nice things on her, so nice changes. She can now adjust better to the support items. We will also see the changes later. Oh, Shaco. Shaco. So, passive damage increased from 10 to 25 to 20 to 35 from level 1 to 18. What is this doing is that he will have a stronger jungle clear and his early ganks are gonna be quite stronger. So take more care for the early game Shaco. That's everything. Anything else, nothing else is changing. Sodaka. Q total rejuvenation heal increased later. W heal and heal ratio increased. So what they're doing is they're giving a huge buff to Sodaka. From 50 to 90, from 50 to 50 110. For example, if you max Q or put 2-3 points early game into it, 3 points for example, in the laning phase, you will already see that it's making her a lot stronger. I like it. It's time for the enchanter supports to come back. So now it changes. His W is from 90 to 220 to 90 to 230. That means that on level 1 it's already a lot stronger. Plus 10% more AP ratio from 60 to 70 means that when you max it out second or after 3 points in Q you start maxing out W, it's really gonna have a big impact, and I'm a fan of it. I hope Sodaka will come back. Trundle. Q bonus damage ratio increased, W bonus attack speed increased. So they want to help the King of the Thralls. Understandable. He is lacking in this season. The items are not actually perfect for him, and I think that tank items are perfect on Trundle, and more people should force him as a tank. But that's just my opinion. So his Q damage ratio from 10 to 50% AD is going to 15 to 55% AD. That means actually you can take the tank mythic, and if you put in any AD item, you're gonna feel it much more, and it's gonna help you to have more sustain, more damage, and also you will get much more attack speed from W, from 20 to 100% to 30 to 110%. That means if you max W second, what you should do after you maxed out Q, you will have a already on the second, third point you have a huge power spike. Nice, I like the changes. Vados. Base mana growth increased, air cooldown decreased early. So the last time they changed Vados, his missile got slower from their ulti. That means it's easier to dodge it. So they compensated it with lower cooldown and more mana, so actually you can skip the tier and try to play on hit Vados. Does it suck? It still sucks. Will he be a good AD carry? No, he won't. Fuck Vados. Mana growth 33 to 40, and the cooldown from 196 to 100 to 60. That actually gives just 1-2 more ultis in the early game. Sucks. Minion spell shard drops updated. Yep, so they changed the drops. They're dropping now lockets, Vengeance Omens, more items. It no longer drops redemption. This is actually a huge nerf to Zoe. A lot of people was relying on Zoe's redemption to heal top lane, to heal bot lane, to heal mid lane, to push your minion wave. So it's actually pretty sad. Okay, let's come to the items. Here are some changes that are actually pretty nice, and I personally like it. So first, Essence River. Essence River has been a little weak, don't say. So we're giving it a bump up for mana hungry champions. 3% of maximum mana to 40% of mana from damage dealt from Spellblade before damage reduction. It's actually really nice, the change. So if you are on your third item or you build Essence River after Mythic, you will do 80 damage, 60 damage, 90 damage, 100 damage. It will restore 40% of that damage. And while you're proccing it with Spellblade, with the old Sheen, it's gonna be maybe a lot more. So actually it's pretty welcome buff. It's really nice. Gale Force, yeah, Gale Force is pretty strong. In my opinion, until this patch, every AD carry should play Gale Force. Doesn't matter what, just take Gale Force, except if you're Samira, then not. So they're changing the cooldown of Gale Force from 60 to 90%. It also applies for Ornn's upgrade, the Typhoon. Hextech Rocket Belt. Hextech Rocket Belt is actually a nice change to the classic Proto Belt that we had, because of the 50% movement speed that you get for 50 seconds, for 2 seconds after activating it. Now they're putting it down 30% for 1.5 seconds. It will not change nothing. Proto Belt is not exclusively here for the movement speed, it's for the burst and to cover the distance, so this will not change nothing. Imperial Mandate. We are seeing that Imperial Mandate is just too strong. Mid lane, top lane, bot lane, doesn't matter. Imperial Mandate Ashe, too strong. So actually they're changing it from applies when ally consumes the mark, initial application of slows and immobilize. That means it will proc earlier. It will proc earlier, and there are welcome changes. It's pretty good. A little less damage, but still a good support item. The Kraken Slayer. The Kraken Slayer is extremely powerful on champion abilities that churn out on hits. Katarina, bitch, I'm looking at you. These abilities tend to have on-hit modifiers for this exact purpose. So Kraken Slayer will now leverage these modifiers of the following champion's abilities. Severum Q Onslaught. That will actually hurt a bit Aphelios, but it will not change nothing. Aphelios will be still S tier. Katarina, you can die in pain, bitch. And Urgot, but Urgot had to pay a big price going Kraken Slayer, so this I don't understand, but it's pretty welcome change. So we are here at Shurelia's Battle Song. I like the changes, and I think that's now perfect for AP support. Bard, Janna, Lulu. They remove the bonus movement speed, they lower the health, but now they gave more mana regen and 40 AP, which is actually pretty good for any enchanter support. It's built of Kindle Gem, Bentley Glass Mirror plus 750 gold. Actually really nice, I like it. It's better than to go in Chemtech. Gargoyle Stoneplate. So, they're buffing Gargoyle Stoneplate. I understand it sounds frustrating, but I think it's a welcome change for all the tanks, because we need more assassins in the game with huge shields. So the 45 bonus armor and magic resist from 3% maximum 15 to 5% max 25. Actual amazing changes. Lethality items. There are a lot of lethality items that are actually pretty useless. And here are 3 of them. Like when you go anti-healing, Grief's Wounds, and you have to build Champank Chainsword, it just feels bad. The item itself, his complete all components just feel super bad. And the icon is terribly disgusting. So what they are changing are now that all items are a bit cheaper. What we will see here is that the Amber Glaive, Serpent Fang and Chainsword will cost a bit less, 200 gold, but also the AD is down for all of them and for Champ Sword. I welcome the changes. Now they're even cheaper items, so welcome. These are changes that I think are really amazing, and it's gonna put the ADCs in an even better position than they are now. We have Phantom Dancer and Hurricane, both with more attack speed. Costs 100 gold more, but I think it's perfectly fine, as second item depends on what your needs are. Tank Metics, yeah. Here are the tank Metics that we all waited for. So, Sunfire Aegis. From 5 ability haste per legendary item, you get 5 tenacity and slow resist per legendary item. Look, another Mundo buff. Another Malphite buff. Maybe Tank Trundle. Jarvan, you can react better. Actually really amazing changes. Frostfire Gauntlet. They changed the building path and they make it 100 gold more expensive. Then the price is getting lowered, so more ability haste, less armor, but you're actually taking it because of the slow. So I think it's actually a nice addition. If you have an early game tank item, if you need the utility, the slow, actually go for it. Also nice randall item. Turbo Tech. So the Turbo Tech was, his mythic was given to the Sunfire Aegis, and he took the haste. That's actually nice, because if you need Turbo Tech, if you need to be fast to go in, you will also need the ability haste to dish out your abilities more. So welcome changes. It's also getting cheaper. It loses some magic resist but gets more ability haste. Welcome changes. I think this is actually really amazing. So this was the patch rundown 11.2. I hope I helped you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave us a subscribe. Press the like button. If you have anything to say, put it in the comment section. And here the next time. Yazone out.